Welcome to the session for Metamorphic Rocks. In the earlier session we know about that igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. In this session we briefly about metamorphic rocks, their origin. So what are the types of rocks in the metamorphic rocks? So before going to the metamorphic rocks, how will be formed of the metamorphic rocks? So metamorphic rocks are formed as simple pressure and temperature will be continuously applied on the particular rock masses. So later on they will be developed as metamorphism. So metamorphism means a change of the form, including the chemical composition. So this is about the rock cycle. So when the earlier we know about that how the formation of igneous rocks. So igneous rocks are formed as some comes from some magma. Later on they will be formed as igneous rocks. After that, igneous rocks will be due to weathering process and transportation process, and it will be identified lithification, formed as sedimentary. But in this session, so the how will be formed as a metamorphic rocks? So in the simple temperature pressure applying on those rocks, either igneous, either sedimentary. So later on they will be developed as metamorphism process. It will be called as metamorphic rocks. So this is about to that rock cycle of entire rock cycle. So what is the metamorphism? Metamorphism means it will be change of the form, so due to increase of temperature and pressure. So while we will be going to that in depth, the temperature will be increased. So while we will be coming to that upward direction, that will be pressure will be increases. In the simple pressure and temperature continuously applying on that particular rock body, it will be change of the form. So metamorphic rocks are two types. One is the foliated, another one is the non-foliated. So foliated means if you seen in that rocks, if clearly observe some foliations. For example, this is the example of metamorphic rock. So this is the metamorphosed by granite. So granite due to due to temperature changes, igneous rocks, they will be metamorphosed to that gneiss. So see, if you identify that this particular rock due to metamorphism process, the dark color lines will be formed in the single line. So later on light color line will be formed. Alternative bands will be identified in that gneiss. So this is about some foliated rocks. So that is called as example is gneiss. So if you seen in that in the foliated rock, another one example is the slate. Slate will be identified as some slippery cleavage. So these are the different types of foliations will be identified. So this is the one another example of foliated rock, that is call it as slate. So non-foliated. So non-foliated means when you observe in the rock any type of foliations, we are unable to identify the particular rock. So for example, if you seen into that non-foliated rocks, marble and quartzite. So quartzite is a 90% grains are having in quartz grains. So that will be called as quartzite. Quartzite is a non-foliated rock. Example is quartzite. So when the non-foliated rock marble is 70% grains are in the quartz grains, and some feldspar materials will be identified, so that we call it as marble. So marble also having as a non-foliated rocks. So foliated means in the different types of foliations will be identified to that. Either gneissosity, schistosity, slippery cleavage will be identified in that slate. In the schistosity identified the schist, gneissosity will be identified that gneiss. So these are the examples of foliated. So non-foliated means, so these are the quartzite and marble. So we are unable to find out any type of foliations. That is the example of metamorphic rocks. So metamorphic rocks are formed as simple temperature pressure will be changes. These metamorphic rocks are formed. So when you observe to that the parent rock materials, so for example in the sandstone is the example of sedimentary rock. So later on sandstone is metamorphosed, they will be formed as quartzite. So this is the example of quartzite. Quartzite having is the 90% of grains as quartz grains. So this is that. So after metamorphosing process, quartz will be formed as, while the parent rock is sandstone. So this is about the gneiss. So the parent rock is that granite. So granite is the igneous rock. So later on temperature pressure changes will be applying in that particular rock. So that later on they will be form as gneiss. So this is the example of metamorphic rock. And similarly, so limestone. So limestone is that sedimentary rock. So after metamorphosing process, they will be formed as marble. So this is the example of marble. So before marble, they will be rock is that limestone material. So after metamorphism, so they will be formed as marble. So in the next session, we are discussing about the secondary structures, that is the different types of folds and faults. So we will be discussing that next session. Thank you.